Cooking Crave, brought to you by ENG Lending, your area's #1 choice for home loans. 456loan.com.
Coming up on today's show, we have a turkey casserole and a strawberry whip sensation. Both delicious. That's all coming your way next. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne Didi.
And one of your friends, Katie Kukla, gave you a recipe for a turkey rice creamy casserole.
Yes.
She says it's awesome. So if Katie says it's good, write down these ingredients and cook it for your family.
Yes.
And we're going to pair that today with strawberry whip sensation.
Oh.
So we just know that that's going to be good too. So if you want to cook along with us, just write down these ingredients. For the turkey rice casserole, you're going to need 2 cups of chopped turkey. You can substitute chicken if you want to. A cup of celery, a cup of onion, 3 cloves of garlic, and a stick of butter. And then you're going to need a cup of hard rice, not minute rice, hard rice. And then a can of cream and mushroom soup, a cream of chicken soup, and then a can of water.
Yeah.
So simple ingredients, but that's going to be a great recipe there. And then for the strawberry whipped dessert, you're going to need 4 cups of fresh strawberries, a can of sweetened condensed milk, a 1/4 cup of lemon juice, a tub of Cool Whip, 8 Oreo cookies, and that looks like it's about it.
That's about it.
Don't need much more than that, though.
No. And this was submitted by a friend. She did kind of want to stay anonymous, but her first name is Sally, so I could do that.
Thank you, Sally. All right, so I would assume we probably want to get the turkey rice going.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're going to come over here. I did put the oven on at 375 again. We're going to bake it at 375 for 40 to 45 minutes, until it's bubbly. But first what we're going to do is we got a stick of butter here in this pan. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit to get that melted. And then right here I have the cup of chopped celery, cup of chopped onion, and 3 cloves of garlic. We're going to want to saute that just till it's kind of, al dente or a little bit tender.
Okay.
But doesn't have to be totally and stuff.
Right. So in a whole stick of butter, that's actually a lot of butter.
Well, it's a 1/2 cup.
Yeah.
And that's what said, because then after what we're going to do when this is kind of sauteed a little bit, Katie said if you put the hard rice in and kind of saute that a little while with, the onion and all that, that it gives that rice a little bit more flavor and a little fluffier, she said. So that's a little tidbit of sauteing the rice in there before we put all the, wet ingredients in there.
All right. Well, we'll just trust Katie. I know it's going to be good.
Oh, absolutely. And I so appreciate Katie. She's just a wonderful friend and stuff. And, she cooks for, for her son and grandson out on the ranch and stuff. And she's in her upper 90s and it's awesome.
She's still
doing
great.
So nice to have. And I mean, she's just an inspiration for all of us. So we got that butter melted. So now we're going to put the celery and onion and garlic in here. And like I said, you're going to want to chop that all.
Okay.
And we're going to get that going here. And there's a fair amount of with the onion and the celery, garlic, until you put that rice in. That 1/2 cup of butter maybe sounds like a lot, but it always looks more when you got a stick of butter than if you had actually 1/2 cup.
Right.
In that. So that's going to just heat up there in a little bit. What we can do is I want to get that sauteed till it's, like I said, a little bit tender, and then we'll add the rice. But then before we add the rice and that's done, we'll just come back. But right now, I guess the stove will do the rest for the sauteing.
All right.
Okay, that has sauteed nicely there. So we're going to add the cup of hard rice. And being I have it in a strainer, what I like to do always, and I guess this is what we did when I grew up with hard rice, we always rinsed it before we cooked it.
Okay.
And that, so I rinsed it well, and in fact it's dry because I did that a while ago. So we're going to just get that mixed in here so that can saute a little bit.
Okay. And you said about 5 minutes that we're going to saute it with the vegetables now?
Right, just to bring that flavor into the rice, and like Katie said, just makes the rice seem a little fluffier and gives it a better flavor.
Okay.
And in the same skillet here, we'll be able to add the turkey and then the cream of chicken and cream of mushroom soup and a little bit of water. And then that bakes at 375 for 40 to 45 minutes like we have previously, set. So
Okay.
that's going to be, and even with sauteing this a little bit, with that butter in there, that rice might just brown a little bit. But we're not going to be having it in here so long. And when you had mentioned the ingredients, if you don't have turkey, this is, I just, the recipe, and so I had some leftover turkey. So that's what I'm going to use. But if you don't have that turkey, just use chicken. You're going to be just fine with that just as well,
Okay.
Yeah. They just maybe have a little different feathers, huh? I don't know. Okay.
Doesn't show the feathers in the bowl, Mom.
That's right, yeah.
Stay ahead of the game with ENG Lending, North Dakota's #1 choice for home loans. Let Jay and his home loan specialist help you when it comes to purchasing your new home or refinancing your existing one. Make the smart choice. Call ENG Lending at 456-LOAN. That's 456-5626.
Call 456-LOAN right now.
Okay, that rice has sauteed in there. In fact, the rice, a couple of pieces I can see is browned a little bit, but not too much. So we're going to go ahead and add our cream of chicken and cream of mushroom soup here. So it would be good to start out with a good sized skillet for this, because it's going to be nice to be able to heat up the cream of, the soups in there and the water and that. So when you put it in the casserole,
So we're gonna transfer this into a casserole dish, though.
yes, we are a 9 by 13 pan.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll get that there. Okay. And then we'll add a cup of water here. And just get that mixed up in here.
So that water is just gonna, because normally with the hard rice, you need that to cook up for quite a while.
Right. I mean, if you had minute rice in there, or if it was cooked rice already, you wouldn't need so much liquid because but hard rice, definitely, you're going to need that. And, I really don't see a reason why, if you didn't have hard rice and you wanted to speed that up a little bit by using minute rice, because your turkey or your chicken is going to be cooked. So you're going to cook that prior. And when you saute and the onions and celery and that, it's not going to be, it's all cooked already. So it's going to be needed heated in the oven. So
Sure.
I think you're going to be just fine.
Okay. You would just probably have to adjust your baking time. Is that what you're thinking then?
I would say I would just start probably, rather than 45 minutes, do maybe even just 30 or 25 to 30.
Okay.
Because if you heat everything in your skillet and it's all hot, it is not going to take very long. So,
Okay.
okay, I can turn the burner off here. And if you don't have a skillet that's big enough or deep enough, use your Dutch oven kettle too.
Sure.
That's going to work just fine also. So I've got my chopped turkey here, and I'll just get that mixed. And then just to give it a little extra crunch and flavor, we're actually going to add, top it with some deep fried, the onion rings, French onions that you use for like your green bean casserole.
Sure.
It's just going to give it a little bit more flavor and a little bit more crunch and stuff like that. So.
Let's get that real mixed up well.
Yeah. Okay, so we can transfer over there.
Do you need this casserole dish sprayed?
Sprayed, yes. And
Okay.
I'll have you bring out the cutting board there. So. So something easy again, and what's nice, if you're able to get this mixed up prior and have it in the fridge when you come home from work, or if working, you could just pop that in the oven, and it's going to take a lot less time.
Sure.
For you. I mean, sometimes when those children come home from school, they're ready to eat, and it's nice to, have a supper ready so that they don't snack so much.
Right.
Or whatever. So that is heavy there, so we're going to just that. And, she did say to bake it uncovered. All right, set that over there. We'll open up the can.
Well, it must be a trick to this.
There, sometimes that foil, yeah. All right. And she didn't really say that you should use, a specific amount, a cup or half a cup, but I would just say, just go ahead and get it just nicely, covered with that. And of course they will brown a little bit there and crisp up, so. Okay, I think that will be about right. Yep. There. And yeah, that's a good cup.
There we go.
And a smidge. All right, so we're going to put that in the oven. And I'm going to put the timer on at 40 minutes to start with, and just to see, because like we said, everything is nice and hot and ready to go.
Okay.
So now for this strawberry whip sensation here. This is really good. What I'm going to do, it says about 4 cups of strawberries.
Okay.
Take out a few, because you're going to garnish the top of this dessert.
Sure.
Too. So we're not going to smash them all in here. Take a couple of them that aren't quite so big, so when I'm cutting and garnishing it, it'll be good there. So
Okay.
Whatever you have, I'm going to use my pastry thing here just to cut them up here.
Okay.
And you can just slice them up if you'd like, or you could use a potato masher. And we're not wanting them just so mashed, so fine or whatever. We still want that look of, that you can see some chunks of strawberries in there.
Okay.
And this is strawberry season, so you should be able to find some nice red sweet strawberries.
Oh, absolutely.
You can just smell them. They just smell so good.
And this doesn't take too long. I mean, this is a pretty good way to do it instead of putting in a blender. You said you don't want it to be pureed or anything.
No, we don't. Like I said, if you didn't have that pastry, here there's lots of ways to accomplish the same thing. Okay. Because in the dessert too, and when you're slicing it, see that strawberry
Sure.
in there is really Nice. So the next thing what we're going to do is, I've got Cool Whip. You're going to need an 8-ounce package of Cool Whip. But what you're going to do, we're only going to put a half of the Cool Whip in there.
Okay.
Because we're going to, when we serve it, we're going to garnish or make it like a frosting on top of that dessert and stuff.
Okay.
And then garnish a little bit of strawberries on there. It's really a pretty looking dessert.
Okay.
So like I said, we just want about 2 cups, so I'm just going to cut that in half there. Yeah. And we'll just put this back in the fridge.
Okay.
So it's like 2 cups of Cool Whip, and then you want a can of condensed milk.
Okay.
Still too much on that lid. Okay. And this, you're going to want to, it says to refrigerate about 6 hours.
Okay.
And I do have one already made, just haven't frosted it with the rest of the Cool Whip or the strawberries, so we'll be able to do that.
And you said refrigerate, or do we freeze it?
We're actually going to freeze it.
Okay.
Oh, I believe I do said refrigerate. Yeah.
Yep.
We're going to want to freeze it. So.
Okay.
So there, and then a 4th cup of lemon juice.
Okay.
So there isn't a lot of ingredients, to start with this. Oh, that is a 4th cup. I'll just go ahead and have you mix that up there, Rhonda.
Okay.
And what we're going to do, we're going to put it in a loaf pan, and we're going to line it with foil so that when you do take it out, you're going to be able to take out the foil and invert that.
Okay.
So.
Could you use parchment paper too?
I don't think you'd have a problem with that. I really think you could. Now you want to get your corners, push that in so you get some nice square corners.
Okay.
So when that dessert inverts out, you will have that. So. So not a lot to mix up, so we're going to pour that in here.
Okay. So this isn't a lot of prep time or anything with this. Wash your strawberries, and that probably took you the longest.
Just about. Yes. Yeah, there isn't much, like you said, prep time. So it's just, we're going to just spread that out here. Now what we're actually going to do here is we're going to take 8 Oreo cookies, and we're going to crush those.
Okay.
And we're going to melt a tablespoon of butter. So we're actually putting the crust on the top.
Sure.
Because when we invert it, the crust is going to be on the bottom.
Okay.
So we can do that. Okay. So I will just have you put that in about 25 seconds to melt that butter. Just go ahead and get those Oreo cookies all crunched up here. And when we say 8, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is only a 4x8 loaf pan, so it's not like we're doing a 8 by or a 9 by 13 pan. So get
give me
that
fork.
in there. Get that. Pretty handy cutting board there, huh?
Yep.
There we go. And so we're going to just get this mashed up in here or mixed with that butter, and just going to put that on top.
Okay. Yeah, that's something you can quick whip up before work and be ready when you get home and after you have the casserole.
The kids, the whole family is going to think it's going to be one awesome treat. It's like having a big strawberry parfait.
Yes.
You know. So we're going to spread that out, and actually we will push that down a little bit into the mix there so that we don't lose a lot of that when we invert it. So
Okay.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do, because I'm putting it in the freezer, I'm going to just top it with another piece of aluminum foil.
Okay.
And I'm going to go get that, put that into the freezer. And I do, and like I said, my freezer downstairs, I've got to bring up the other one, and then we'll show the other one what we're going to finish. So we'll be back in just a few minutes.
All right.
But we have our Strawberry Sensational Delight dessert here. I'm going to go ahead and invert it on this platter here. I'm going to do this because it should be coming right out of there. That's easy enough, and then we just take and you know, we were talking about parchment paper before, and you know, parchment paper isn't quite as sturdy, and I'm thinking about when we're pulling this off of the dessert, maybe that might not pull off as easily.
Okay. Yep, I can see
So-
that.
So we'll just get that. So that's what that looks like. And when you're cutting it, it will be a little bit firm though too. So you,
sure.
If you have a chance to let it set out for 5 minutes or so before you're actually cutting, that would be good. So we're going to just take this and frost that. There we go. And just make it look like we got some frosting on there.
Well, it's going to be great.
It's going to be a very pretty dessert too, you know, that you're going to have when you cut it, and you see the strawberry in there and that pink color. And
Sure.
I can just see Addison wanting to get right in here and doing this, huh?
Yep. She loves strawberries.
Yep. Never quite get it all off. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we want to actually, you know, I'm going to slice some strawberries and then, you know, actually garnish on there and
Okay.
stuff. So and I'll let you, you know, I think what we'll do is just, what do we want to start that way and come this way with putting on. And I've got some, and I think maybe we could probably go a little further apart, but I think you're fine with that. And this is where the other strawberries come in play, because it says, use 4 cups of strawberries. You don't have full 4 cups in here. We had set a few aside, and that's what we were doing here. We set them aside to be able to garnish this. And another thing too, if you feel like you're probably not going to be able to use the whole dessert at once, maybe what you'd like to do is maybe garnish half of it, because you're going to put the rest back into the freezer, and then maybe you don't want your strawberries that you have on top, because they're going to freeze.
Right.
So you might just think about not garnishing it all, unless, like I said, you're going to be able to use it all.
Well, I don't know if you're going to need any more.
Okay. Excuse me. So, think that looks good enough to eat?
Of course.
Yes, that was a pretty dessert.
Country Rose Cafe on East Villard is open for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. Enjoy daily homemade specials, caramel and cinnamon rolls, several different kinds of homemade pies made fresh every day. Country Rose Cafe is also famous for homemade soup, including their ever-popular Nefla served every Tuesday. While you're in, make sure to pick up your Channel 18 Cooking Crave recipes and like us on Facebook for different specials and announcements. Country Rose Cafe, the way a cafe should be, located at 837 East Villard in Dickinson.
Okay. The oven is going off for our turkey rice creamy casserole here. So I did check it, and we did have it in 40 minutes.
Okay.
And it looks like it's done, and I even checked, and the rice looks nice and done too. So.
All right.
Okay. So with that, that French onion, fried onions, browned, which is going to make it get a little extra crunch. So we're going to just get a spoon here, and we're going to get out our dessert. And there, doesn't got some here?
It does.
I will just get a piece cut here. It's probably going to be a little bit hard in that strawberries. There we go. And it is a little bit firm, but it's going to be froze, but that's what we want.
Okay.
So I'm going to just that right
Well, it looks
here.
great.
Yeah. I'll leave that there, and we'll just go ahead and get some of that. And if you want to pair that with a salad, maybe make some breadsticks, even a loaf of fresh baked bread.
Oh,
that
yeah.
would just make a complete meal there, wouldn't it?
That would. It'd be awesome.
All right.
Yeah, I do have to thank your friends,
Yes.
Katie and Sally, for submitting these recipes for us to cook for our viewers on the show. This smells just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And we just know that one's going to be good.
It will, absolutely.
Just go to Consolidated's website, consolidatednd.com, to submit your recipes and get your name into the Cooking Crave apron drawing that we hold monthly. Thank you so much to our sponsors, and join us next week when we do it all over again here on Cooking Crave.